Hi everyone, my name is Michelle Hall, and I did my presentation on how to heal from stress and emotional overload through writing. Okay, here's a little introduction overview of stress. Obviously, can come from work, children, marriage, families, very busy, committed schedules, and technology overload, where you're using all your energy for looking at social media and other things, and then you don't have that energy for other stuff, which turns into stress. The benefits of using stress relief is longer life in many ways, calmer minds, a better control of the ego, which can affect your narrative and how you're seeing life, and clearer perspective on things. This quote from one of my resources is over 200 research studies have reported that emotional writing can improve people's physical and emotional health. So that is great. Okay, how stress builds. It can be many ways, but here are a few that I am usually dealing with. Carrying emotion for too long, like anger, sadness, frustration, conflict, even if you haven't resolved something. Trying to keep lists or due dates or appointments all in my head instead of writing them out. Relying on my memory for all my responsibilities. It could be, oh, I needed to clean the bathroom today, or I was supposed to take out the trash yesterday, and being pulled in multiple directions. I often seem to overcommit myself and agree to helping this person or going to this event and feel like I am never just having some calm time. Okay, so how can writing help this? Well, the transfer from brain to paper is really helpful because it just gets it out of the head and onto the paper. So you feel like you are not still carrying all of this around. It's written down, it's in front of you, you can go back at it, you can look at it again. You do not have to feel like you have to carry that in your memory. Also, the focus it takes to write out, especially of an emotional situation, is you kind of have to relive it and write it sentence by sentence, and that makes you work through the conflict maybe or confrontation, and you maybe see it a little differently as you're writing it, or you remember certain details that maybe your emotion was blocking out at the time, and that can help processing. Emptying the mind of swirling thoughts, that's very helpful, especially if people have anxiety with stress. Just something you constantly ruminate about or worry about, and just getting it out in front of you maybe help you realize that that stress is not needed from that. Also, relieving pressure of, again, trying to recall and remember different lists and responsibilities. I know everyone's doing that every day. So here are a few techniques that I picked. There's timed, list form, raw emotion, and typing. So first we have timed. This is, side note, I did try to do videos and it just would not work and would not process, wouldn't upload, and so here we are with pictures. But timed is you really just literally set a timer and you take that time to just write out whatever it is that comes to your mind, basically. It's almost like a way to introduce yourself into writing in case you don't know what to write yet. Just kind of let your mind free flow. And the timer mostly just helps with that, you don't write two sentences, or that you don't just keep going until you feel like it's not even helping anymore. You're just writing just to write. Okay, next is list form. This can be used in different formats. It could be listing out things that you're grateful for, you're thankful for, to help you have a better perspective on life, to reduce stress about certain situations. It could be having a list of things that you want to do in the future, and you don't have to carry it around in your head. It's, you have it written almost like a goal. There could be lots of different types of lists you can make to help with clearing your mind. Next one is raw emotion, and that is literally like putting the emotion on the page. Sometimes you could even be almost like digging into the page with the pen or pencil because you are just so emotional at that time trying to get it out. And it can really help just even that feeling of pushing down on the paper. It's almost a physical and mental help. Okay, and the last one is typing. This is more, it's just a different format, and sometimes people think it isn't as helpful, but really it is. It's still getting it out of your mind, and sometimes it's even better because some people type faster than they write, and so it keeps up with their thought process a little better as they're going through everything. So it is definitely still just as beneficial. Okay, so you've done the writing, so what kind of effects is that going to help you with? So you should feel calmer overall. You should feel your mind has more space now that you've written all that out, that you can think more clearly or have better perspective on life. You also could have more of a sense of peace, that emotion that maybe you were constantly carrying or not sure why you couldn't work through it. Maybe you have processed some of that and you feel a little more peaceful about it. Another quote from my resources is it's like decluttering your mind. You get swirling thoughts and feelings out of your head and onto paper, and that helps you create mental space for clarity and healing. It's definitely how it helps me. Okay, so how would you get started? So usually you're going to want a quiet atmosphere away from distractions. You're not going to want your phone by you. You're probably not going to want to be in a room with kids or TV. You find some kind of notebook or journal, or go find something at a store that you think you will look forward to writing in. Find a pen or pencil that feels comfortable or that you particularly like writing with. You can turn your phone off or put it in another room, just so that if you had messages come in, they don't distract your train of thought, because you could maybe be really into something you're writing and then you hear that ding and now you've pulled out of it. You probably want to take a few minutes, think through your day, maybe think about a technique of what's going to fit for your day. Do you need to write something out that's in a list, that's some stuff you want to remember? Or did you have an emotional day and you really need to try to work through that? And last is don't be afraid of your thoughts. Some may seem a little overwhelming and you're like, why do I think that? But sometimes the brain just thinks certain ways and that's how you get through it, and that's okay. My last quote from my resources is, I think the real art is translating an emotional experience into words. By doing that, it changes the way the experience is organized in the brain and it slows down your thinking process. Again, because you have to relive it, you think more clearly because you have to write it into a form that is understandable, and it just makes your brain process it a little differently. So you've written, so how do you feel now? Do you feel like you had a benefit? Maybe you try a different technique. Were you writing honestly, or were you just trying to fake it? Which can be fine in the beginning as long as it's kind of getting you some practice. And as you continue writing more, sometimes you start to really feel like you're more comfortable to open up with yourself about what you're writing. So it's okay if it starts that way. It's good to try to remember this stress relief method when you are stressed. Maybe have a sticky note somewhere that says, remember to write. And this can help you form a habit of using it often. Okay, as a review, let's see. Stress constantly builds, of course, throughout life every day. We want to try to be aware of it, though, so that we can kind of get to it even beforehand. Keep using our writing so that we're constantly relieving our mind, and that will really help keep up on it and it not build up and cause issues. Again, you just pick a technique. It could be a different one every day, and get yourself started, and then start feeling those benefits of having a lighter mind and clearer perspective of life. So just my resources. Thank you again for listening, and I hope that you guys try writing, and I really hope it helps you out with some stress relief.